Welcome. Welcome to our meeting. What is today? April 14th, our village board meeting. This is kind of one of the key meetings of the year where we get to talk about the budget, which is a lot of energy and a lot of excitement and a lot of planning. So I'd like to, kick off and go with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. I have other really exciting news because we have a special guest with us tonight, past trustee Vanessa Bertozzi, and I'd like to say something. So Vanessa, come on up here.
Wait, hold on. Downstairs is locked. Oh, okay.
Here, guest, up here. All right.
You can do it. No, thank you, John. Okay.
Oh,
All right, so I think everybody here knows Vanessa, and everybody on the screen and knows Vanessa. And everybody knows what Vanessa has accomplished in her 6-year tenure here at the village as a trustee. Just a valuable person. And when you have that time when it's the right person for the right time, and it works out, it's just a blessing. And we were so blessed to have Vanessa on the village board, who started as an environmental specialist because we felt that we were doing some things in terms of the environment, but I'll be honest with you, it got bigger than I could do, and we needed some real horsepower to make it happen, all right? And Vanessa became available, and I really reached out to Vanessa and said, please. And so she started as an environmental specialist, did that for a year, and then became a trustee, right? And in those times of trustee, there's not often, I'm going to compare this to a lunar moon landing, right? That significant things happen, right, that are so valuable to the village. Vanessa put the village on the map, right? If you go to any NYSERDA website and you look up for NYSERDA certification, you're going to see 25 stars. We all get to name a star after ourselves, but Vanessa should name the star on the NYSERDA map that's for the village of Rhinebeck as her star, because Vanessa did a lot to make that happen. So on behalf of the village board, right, we searched for something not made of plastic. And rather than a standard plaque, I thought it was more or better to do something that really made the point that what Vanessa has accomplished. So Vanessa, this is presented to Vanessa Bertozzi for your dedicated service to the Village of Rhinebeck trustees from 2020 to 2027.
So much, Karen.
We're not done.
Oh, my God.
I can't let this go. So, I really wanted to save this for myself, but I'm not going to. Because when our journey started, and it is a journey, right? And it's a very complicated journey to get the New York State certification of both bronze and silver. It's such a significant accomplishment, not only getting us on the map, but we were able to get so many grants as a result of doing this that paved the way for getting us off of fossil fuels at several of our buildings, right? Getting us pumps for the water plant, getting us a passive audit for this building of $600,000, right? But it started when the environmental committee that I was running, and I was out of gas, and I called Vanessa and I asked Vanessa, we really need to make bronze, right? So this is the bronze certification that the village got. And it kind of marks a special moment to me. Because I get emotional, sorry. Because it started the journey to get us there. So I want to give to Vanessa our bronze certification.
Thank you. Oh my God, thank you. It really has been such an honor to work with all of you and to serve this village that I love and to work in concert with so many members of the community who have put in so much volunteer time to make this stuff happen. And really, Gary was the one who put me up to it. So thank you so much for this. It's
Thank
so
you for what
thoughtful.
you did. You did it. Here's the rest of the box.
Oh.
All right, meeting's over. All right, so now we're gonna go on. Tonight, as I mentioned, we're gonna go into the public, talk about our budget. First, I want to acknowledge that for everybody on the board, Martina's not here, which you see the empty spot, and Karen was out for a few days, so we've been really filling the gap here to try to make a lot of things happen. So if there's stuff missing on the cloud or whatever for the public, it'll get there, I promise you. But there isn't anything I don't think that the board has not heard about, seen about, or thought about, as we go forward. And the same is go true for the budget. We start the budget in February, and it's bi-weekly meetings or many meetings, and as I've told people, we often sleep with it. Because it is a true document in how we need to move forward and how we set the agenda for the coming year. And it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to pull the budget together, and this year was extremely challenging because there was a lot of stuff we had to work out. But we did it, and we got it together. And the board has come to an agreement with a tentative plan. And that tentative plan is what we're going to present tonight. And so what I'd like to do is our CFO, Karen McLaughlin, first, before we open public hearing, to review the budget with you.
No offense, I'm going to take this opportunity to thank
Thank you, Mayor, and as the Mayor said, this has been a very challenging year and a challenging budget. I'm not going to read through all of this, but I did want to let you just take a look at the numerous items that were presented, that were put in the budget, that were not just taken out of the budget, but applied for grants and maybe funded in another way. So there's been like a lot of creative financing in terms of grants and sources of other revenue. So I wanted to, like I said, just have you take a look at some of the projects that we are going to be funding with grants and other sources of revenue. On the revenue side, we have a few increases to the revenue, and then on the water budget, the increases include salaries, utilities, insurance, administration, chemicals. The water plant is underway with the water plant upgrade funded by the New York State EFC, grant and low interest bonds. So this year we will be allocating $40,000 for the short-term funding while that project is being completed and then turned into long-term funding. The sewer fund is we are projecting, which Gary will get to in his resolution, we're projecting an increase of 50 cents per 1,000 gallons used. The sewer plant is also in the process of a sewer plant upgrade, and we have a lot of moving parts in the water and the sewer right now. We have projects that will be coming on board, but they're not coming on board yet. We have projects, we have improvements that are not completed yet. So that just gives you a little idea of just kind of the challenges with the water and sewer. So I thought it was important to kind of take a look at the budget as a whole. This is just the general fund, but this kind of outlines the percentage of the different parts of the budget. We have the police, streets, fire, planning, building and zoning, long-term debt, the general fund, retirement, health insurance, and employee benefits. So this is just kind of lets you see the whole budget and the pieces of the pie that make up for it. On the revenue side, this illustrates this biggest piece is property taxes. We have public safety and other government revenue. We have Dutchess County sales tax, franchise fees, rental of real property and interest, and we fully anticipated the reduction of the interest rates, so we took that into account when we were anticipating revenue. We have the department revenue, we have mortgage tax, state tax, grants, and CHIPS. So that is kind of a big picture of the revenue. So moving on, we just talked about the water fund. So this is a source power pumping, transmission and distribution, and these are all the pieces that make up the water fund. Long-term debt, purification, administration. Moving on to the sewer fund, very similar. We have sanitary sewers, we have transmission and disposal, we have the administration, long-term debt, and the employee benefits. So those are the pieces that make up the budget, and as Gary said, the village board has reviewed the budget, and the tentative budget the board approved to present it. So I'll turn it back over to you, ma'am.
Thank you. Okay, at this time, I'd like to make a motion to open the public hearing.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, in the public hearing is also a public comment. So let's start with public comment. Is there anybody to make comment relating to the budget? Pat, yeah, come on up.
My only do I have to, and Pat Evans, right? You need to know that. So my only comment about the budget is that what was distributed to the public had I don't have my glasses with me. It was the first round, the second round, and the tentative. I assume that was not the way you all reviewed the budget, because you probably looked at year-to-date last year, but that was not released to the public. And I just think that in full disclosure, to allow us to understand, thank you, that would have been much better for somebody to follow how you came about the first, the requested, the first and second review and the tentative. So that's just my only comment in the really wanting full disclosure as to how you all looked at the budget. And I'm assuming you would look at it that way, Karen, right?
Yes.
Why wouldn't we be able to see it too? Thank you.
Thanks, Pat.
Hi, Donna Warner, Beach Street in Rhinebeck.
was sent out earlier, and this, and it's not, I think it's really important to be able to see the changes over time. So without a line item budget that shows last year, this year, it's really hard to interpret or to evaluate this, and particularly taking each of these various pie chart components and looking at last year or the last 2 years, this year, where the change is occurring, what's increasing, decreasing. And I think it's also important to break out personnel costs so that we can see what, there are different slices, ways to look at the budget. And I think this way is very hard for me to interpret. Where are we? Are we doing well in this area and not in that? You know, what are the vulnerable pieces in the budget? I really can't tell. So I don't know if you look at it that way also. So comment. Yeah, I'm not going to take a header here. Thank you. Thank you.
Any other comments on the budget? Thank you for your input.
I would just like to explain that last year we did not do the first round and the second round, so I just thought that it was just kind of going to be too much, but I certainly take your comments, take your comments, and next year I will make sure that the prior year is on.
Thank you.
To give a summary, we throw, the way we work the budget is we throw everything, including the kitchen sink, into the budget. And then we start from there, which is the requested budget, which you see. So it doesn't give you the history going back because we're starting fresh with something that every one of these trustees, and Vanessa who just left, throws items into the plan. And then we have to accumulate all of those items and then determine where we are and what we can do, which comes up with the sheet that Karen showed that said we made these following adjustments. These were all stuff that was in the plan that we said, let's find another way to do that so we can save our budget this year. So that's how we work, but we do comparison year to year to year to also get those trends. And I think what you're asking is, let's see the trends in one thing.
I think so, and I also appreciate how complex this is. I mean, if you dig into it, you know, where the grants are, where they're projected, where you actually have them in hand and all of that. But to get to at least a high-level summary that looks like a budget that, or a proposed budget that people are more used to. But the trend is important, I think. I don't even know if it's possible.
Why wouldn't it?
I don't know.
Everything is possible.
I'm assuming what we received was a PDF of an Excel spreadsheet that had those columns in it, and were hidden to just provide us. I'm not trying to be accusatory, but that's probably there, and that's, I think, all that we're asking for.
And the
is to
trend.
show the column.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Susan,
Can I ask you a quick question, because I actually believe, and it's not related to the budget, it's sort of related to the budget.
sure.
Okay.
We are going to go into public comment, but
I was like, in the next 2 minutes?
probably not. But
I'm sorry, I actually run a program for the town rec department tonight, so I get to be there at 6:30, so I'm kind of pushing it at this point anyways. So I had a quick question, Susanna Renzi, Manor Road. I saw on your, the agenda tonight that you were going to talk about mulch again, and I went into the file to see about that, and there was nothing in the
yeah,
file.
so that's one of the things
So-
because we were suffering because of people being out, and people being in. I threw it in now. I threw a couple words in there, so if you go home, you're going to see it now.
Okay.
Because I threw it in before the meeting because, again, I apologize.
That's
but
okay.
When people are ill and whatever, we're trying to, I do my best to fill the voids.
It was blank, and I was kind of curious if you're doing that again, because I ordered a bunch in
We
the
are.
past. Okay.
With some twists.
I will look in the folder. Thank you, sorry.
We're selling budget, we're selling mulch as we speak.
Oh, Okay, so then I'll talk to Martina. Thank you, sorry about that.
Good luck.
Have fun.
Aye.
Oh, it's adult soccer, it's fun.
Yeah, don't break a leg.
See you later, thank you.
Okay, any other questions on the budget? Okay, we're gonna go on. So at this point in time, I'm gonna make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
So the next part of the budget is the resolution to adopt the budget. This is the Village of Rhinebeck Board of Trustees, Village Hall, resolution adoption of 26-27 village budget, including water and sewer rate adjustments. For today, April 14th, 2026. Whereas the Board of Trustees of the Village of Rhinebeck has prepared and reviewed a proposal budget for the fiscal year beginning June 1st, 2026 and ending May 31st, 2027. Whereas a duly noticed public hearing on said proposed budget was held on April 14th, 2026, at which time all interested parties were given the opportunity to be heard. And whereas the Board of Trustees has carefully considered the tentative budget and all modifications thereto, and whereas the budget includes appropriations for the general fund, the water fund, the sewer fund, each of which has been reviewed and determined to be necessary for the continued operation of the village services. Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby adopts the 2026-2027 village budget as follows. The general fund appropriation is $3,467,007. What we have to publish is our salaries. My salary is $25,000, which remains unchanged from the previous year. The trustee's annual salary is $12,000 per trustee, which also remains unchanged from the previous year. The water fund appropriations are $1,255,478. The sewer fund appropriations are $1,076,924. And be it further resolved that the following rates are hereby effective and will be applied to the July water and sewer billings. The water rate remains unchanged at $8 per 1,000 gallons. The sewer rate goes from $14 to $14.50 per 1,000 gallons. And be it further resolved that the mayor is hereby authorized to execute any documents and take any actions necessary to implement the adopted budget and the rate schedules. And be it further resolved that the village board is hereby directed to file all records in accordance with the applicable law.
Second.
Okay, thank you. Mark, Karen, you do a roll call by vote, please?
Hold on.
I
we
just
have a
ask a-
conversation.
Yeah. You're right, thank you.
I
No
did have,
problem.
I have a question, which is, because the state hasn't passed their budget, are we in danger of losing any revenues, or is what we get pretty well set?
That can happen with the state mandate at any time. So I don't know how to answer that question, but what we know today is what we have in the budget.
From what I understand, the state budget's being held up by the seeker stuff, so our stuff is probably unlikely.
Actually, more than that, but
And I would say, in general, we've had, at least when there's been proposed cuts, our representatives have been able to at least hold us harmless. Usually we don't say less, but they'll say, hey, at least fund it at the current, and I think that's what we're projecting. We're not projecting increased revenue, we're using last year's revenue, so pretty conservative way of looking at it.
I think I would just address your, did that turn on?
Hold it down.
hold it down.
There you go. And then you can click it from you.
Okay. Okay, so I guess addressing your concerns, since I am also new to this budget process, I think I had a little bit of the same reactions as you had, which is I'm used to a budget being a management tool as opposed to a compliance tool. And so, you know, for me, and this is something that I kind of expressed to everyone, you know, I would have thought that this, that a structure could be your operational costs, projects and initiatives, core operations, and then capital and equipment, which would allow one to track expenses over time more easily. It would allow you to evaluate effectiveness of each project individually. But I also came to understand that this is, it's complicated because of various regulations and
Administrivia.
yes,
Yes.
yes, let's put it that way. I do, however, hope that as we move forward, that some of that this will continue to stay under discussion, and that certain structural changes to how the budget is presented, not created, but presented, could be made. That would make it easier for everyone to understand, and which would make it a management tool.
One of the things that I found helpful actually in this year's budget review, which unfortunately the public did not get to see, was Karen included not just the 25-26 what we adopted, but also the 25-26 year-to-date, and then also the 25-26, like what we had voted on and changed throughout the course of the year. And so there's always like the budget that we start with, and then by the end of the year, the budget that we actually finish with. And I really appreciate that information for at least the previous year. And that could be, perhaps 2 columns that we provide for the previous year for the general public as well. I agree that looking at a budget that basically like the chart of accounts as a budget is not the most sort of informative way to do things. I've encountered 120-page PowerPoint presentations on budgets. Our government is not that complicated. But, we could take it department by department, all the rest of it. So I think this is an interesting thing that we can work on in the next fiscal year. But I did find those 2 columns very helpful. Otherwise, I thought we did a good job with it this year. Yeah.
And just to remind the public, you're always welcome to our budget workshops, which we advertise and list, and we welcome the public to come and observe and watch, and even question at times when we go through the process, because it is tough. Any other discussion?
One thing I did want to mention in the resolution, it says the water rate is unchanged at $8 per 1,000 gallons. That's only for single-family residential. Right, yeah.
That's the minimum scale, that's the beginning of the scale.
Right, exactly. So I just want to make it clear that
Correct.
there is a chart associated with water use, and $8 per 1,000 with its minimum is just for the single-family residential.
Correct.
All right, I'd like to request a roll call, please, for vote.
Trustee Pupka?
Aye.
Trustee Lewis?
Aye.
Trustee Slavy?
Aye.
Trustee Nichol?
Aye.
And Mayor Benson?
Aye.
Great.
Budget passed. Thank you all, and we're looking forward to a great year. We really are. Okay, thank you. We're going to now go into, since I have Karen's attention and undivided,
Is there any more public comment?
what?
Is there any more public comment?
No, I'm making an adjustment to the plan here right now.
Okay.
Give me a second.
Sure.
Yeah. Since we had Karen up there, I'm going to roll right into the treasurer's report, so she can just do that while we have her up at the podium, if that's okay with the board. Sure.
Okay, thank you. The period ending March 31st, the general fund ended the month with $471,322.80. The water fund ended the month with $54,195.44. The sewer fund ended the month with $73,644.05. Vouchers presented for payment in the general fund total $93,749.67. In the water fund, $102,087,847.42. In the sewer fund, $38,028.41. The bike trail signs, $935. The zoning code update, $11,382.50. Escrow bills totaling $4,060, and mini park bill for $1,021.38. So I just ask for a motion to authorize the vouchers presented for payment.
So moved.
Second.
also like to report that the monthly operating statement is provided with revenue and expenditures through April 14th. The water and sewer billing for April went out, and the monthly bills for water total $25,784.58, for sewer $29,390.15, and those are due on April 25th. Quarterly billing went out in the water fund, $209,972.57, and in the sewer, $91,616.39, and those are due May 25th. The adjustments were signed off by Mayor Bassett and presented for approval.
Make a motion to accept the operation budget presented.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, and I just like to report that the Asher Dam grant for $49,500 was received. The zoning code update, we received $38,106. And the New York CHIPS funds were received in the amount of $241,167.63. And the fire contract in the amount of $286,302 were received. At this time, I just have one budget amendment. This month, I just have one budget amendment for the water fund, and that we had discussed that the long-term debt schedule was not prepared for this current year, so we had some interest and principal payments for EFC. So I'm going to ask for a decrease in the bond principal of $80,000, decrease in the bond interest of $30,000, and in the meter revenue, an increase of $110,000.
So moved.
Second.
My favorite kind of budget amendment.
Can I just ask, wasn't it 90,000 or was that different before?
Yeah, but we received another bill for short-term interest from EFC, so I reduced it. Sorry,
All
who
in favor,
seconded?
say aye.
Aye.
Gary seconded.
Yeah, of course, I seconded.
And that's all I have.
Thank you, Karen. Okay. This helps because tonight Karen's also taking notes. So if I could get her over here so she can concentrate on notes, I appreciate you obliging to the shift in schedule. I'm going to give her a second to get settled.
I'm all set.
You all set? Okay, we're going to open up for public comment. Kathleen?
Hi, Kathleen Evans, Rhinebeck Village, and I just wanted to say, to give a shout out to the newsletter that's new for the Tree Commission. I happened to see that and I thought someone had emailed me a copy, and I thought it was great. And I hope that it gets a little publicized, because I did go on to the village website, and the village website, I had to find out where the Tree Commission was. So I felt it was a little buried, but whoever did that did a great job, and I hope a lot of people read it.
The credit goes to Mike Florenzo. He designed it and largely wrote it with light ending from other folks in the...
He did a great
He did a
job.
wonderful job.
I'll thank him. Thank you.
Any other comment? Hearing none, we're going to move on. Presentations tonight. Rosemary, would you come up, please?
Thank you. I have to take all my props. Thank you, Mayor Bassett. Okay, this is the 4th year I've had the pleasure of curating the Blessing of the Animals in the village of Rhinebeck. We do this every May in honor of Be Kind to Animals Week, which was started by American Humane 111 years ago. This is the oldest commemorative week in the country. And I have a flyer for the event. It's hosted by the Third Lutheran Church at 31 Livingston Street. It goes from noon to 4 on the 30th. We do have a rain date of the 31st, which will go from 1 to 5. And I hope we don't have to use the rain date. But every animal on this poster will be representative and present at the blessing. The theme this year is the Humane Child. We are honoring the work of Dr. Jane Goodall, and once again, we are presenting this free, outdoor, family-oriented event. It's an opportunity to build community, stewardship, and promote kindness in our communities. Last year, we welcomed over 200 visitors. This is a hands-on blessing. This is not a group event where you sit in the church. It all happens outside. You walk directly up to the pastor with your pet. Since we bring in 200 visitors, it's also good for business. The event includes exhibits by a dozen plus animal charities. It fills the Great Lawn, each with their group's ambassador animal. 4-H, 2x2 petting zoo, and the State Police Canine Unit are just a few of the exhibitors. To date, our sponsors are Adams Fairacre Farms, Arlington Wine and Liquor, Tractor Supply, and Williams Lumber and Home Centers. All donations by these sponsors go into a charity pool, which then is equally distributed amongst the exhibitors to offset any out-of-pocket expenses they might incur. When I say that, this year I specifically think of gas prices. Southlands Foundation and Hope Farm for Animal Rescue, which comes out of Saugerties, trailers in their animals. And that's going to be very costly for that one day. So I am looking to grow the sponsorship list, and I would appreciate any support and any help anybody can offer. I have a press release, I have the flyers, and help me get the word out. Now the second thing, which I believe is the first time in Rhinebeck that this is being offered. This is a free rabies clinic. Any resident of Dutchess County can get their rabies shot for free. You have to make an appointment with Hudson Valley Animal Rescue Sanctuary, and you come in, get your free shot. Non-residents are charged $15. You can also buy microchipping for $45 and distemper for $25. Again, they have to make the reservation at hvars.org. Yes, we can accommodate walk-ins if we have a little open time, but they have to know how many vaccines to bring, how many microchips to bring, so it really helps if people make the appointments. Proof of residency is required. All dogs must be on a leash. Cats and domestic ferrets, 3 months or older, must be in carriers. With proof of previous vaccination, this rabies vaccine will be good for 3 years. Without proof, the vaccine will be good for only 1 year. As we know, rabies shots are required by law for, again, ferrets over 3 months, which I did not know, and of course, dogs and cats. Pet owners are required to regularly schedule vaccines yearly to immunize against rabies, and owners can be fined $200 if they don't do this. Hudson Valley Animal Rescue is a nonprofit animal rescue group, wildlife rehab center, and low-cost vet services. That's really important because so many people are turning their pets into shelters because they can't afford to feed them and medicate them and keep them healthy. So we want to stop that. Today, Hudson Valley Animal Rescue and Sanctuary is a mainstay of Dutchess County, serving many communities at their permanent location at 9 Barnes Drive in Poughkeepsie. I also want to mention that this is not only a free clinic for the Dutchess County residents, this is a free clinic for Dutchess County because this is not being paid by taxpayer money going through the health department. This clinic is subsidized by a personal estate. And it would be really great to have too many people call up for appointments to show that this was really needed and we should do this more often. So I have press material, I have flyers. On the material is my number, my contact number, my email address. Mayor Bassett has my information, and I reach out for you to find me more sponsors for our charity pool and any other thing you can suggest. I really appreciate. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your dedication to our four-legged friends.
It's amazing, we had to put down one of our animals on the day of the animal blessing 2 years ago, and I can't describe how nurturing it was for us to walk by the church after that appointment and see all of the animals just wiggling.
Well, yeah.
So, thank you for this.
We have something called the Pet Remembrance Tree that's put up, and every year we put, it's like a Christmas tree, but it's covered with leashes and chewed slippers, and I have a tuna fish can that somebody used to, because they fed their cat tuna fish, and it's really wonderful, and it's in a part of the outside area where it's like a little memory place where you could sit down. We put 2 boxes of tissues on the different benches, and they're always used up at the end. And we carry the trimmings, the tributes, year to year, just like you do with your Christmas decorations, and they go back up. So people can literally come next year and see what they put on this year. If you want to put it up, take pictures and take it back home, because some people don't want to give up the leash or the collar. That's perfectly fine. But it's really a way to help somebody deal with that kind of family loss. So thank you. Come to the blessing. Okay.
Thank you, yeah. Okay. This is where you're going to have to bear with me a lot, because this is where there's going to be a lot of changes, so we're going into purchase request. And there was things that were added, deleted, modified, changed, eliminated over the course of 3 days when everybody was moving around. So bear with me as we go through this. One of the things that is not on the agenda was a request for doing paving at our water plant. And I have our DPW, Kyle Lamy, here. This came into the office, but unfortunately, because of what I mentioned, we were not able to get it up on the agenda. So I'm adding this to the agenda now, and it'll be pretty much self-explanatory.
Thank you, Mayor. With the water project, light at the end of the tunnel, one of the stages that we're at right now is the outside paving and landscape work. Waiting to the end to see where we are with the contingency money and everything else. There is areas that we want to add to that, so why we have the equipment stabilized and in one location. This way, it's not something that we have to come back and try to seam it, try to blend it, and so forth. And we feel, with speaking with Anthony, that this would be the time to do it. So the additional that we want to do is an area by the new building that was not put into the original plan. And another area was where we widened the driveway coming in between the buildings. Which will make it easier for delivery trucks, make it easier for plowing and so forth in the winter. So those spots that we have would be additional $8,478.78 out of the contingency money, which, if agreed upon, that would then take our contingency money for this part and move it to $103,451.52. That doesn't include the other 2 line items. Anthony did say he did not give me those numbers, but from last month's meeting with the electrical and so forth, we have not taken from the contingency money out there, so they are still the same numbers as they were last week. So at this time, I'm asking the board if they would approve the additional paving while the equipment is there of $8,476.78.
So moved.
Second. Discussion?
Can you describe again where this is, hold on. I'm going to do something that's kind of weird. I'm just going to do it anyway. Where'd it go? Oh, I just had it.
Well, she's doing that. Is that something that we need to get quotes on, or because it's?
No.
So we don't need to.
No,
No,
You get the contract.
it's part of our contract.
part of the contract with the contingency.
There we go. Okay, where are you talking?
So we took this area
Yeah,
in between here
yeah,
and cut it back, made it wider.
okay,
And also, pretend this new building is done with the breezeway right here.
yeah,
There was no blacktop to the section into here,
okay,
which after reviewing and looking at, we were worried about water going into the stone area and then possibly getting underneath the blacktop because of the slope.
right,
So we then turned around and decided that since we were able to do it, and obviously come to the board, that then we would seal this up. So by the equipment here, they can blend in coming from here all the way in and blend those two spots.
got it.
Without, again, bringing additional equipment in at another time and keeping it within the,
And we are currently paving,
yes.
we showed that up, but we're currently doing paving down there from the renovation work that we're doing.
Yes.
Including along the access road that we're adding new
Also,
conduits.
that new part by the new building isn't that big, so it's, it just makes sense, I think, to make, get that paved over.
It finishes it. It was on top of the cabinet there, but you look for the remote,
Looking for a remote.
it was right on top of the cabinet.
It's right by the laptop.
Oh, okay, any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Kyle.
Great, thank you for your time.
Have a good evening.
You too.
The next was on, I'm going by the agenda, was the server relocation. This was to move the server that's currently housed in the town of Rhinebeck building that serves both of our complexes, town and the village. We also have a grant for the New York State Efficiency Grant, but as a board, we thought going forward with the budget this year, even if we get the grant, but we have some money we could have spent this year to do that, to move that relocation. But in my communication with the town, this project is being delayed. The town wants to put a hold on relocating the vendor, relocating the server over to Village Hall. So
Okay.
that's not going to happen, okay?
Okay, so this is being tabled.
It's being tabled.
Okay,
The next is, so that was $19,000, by the way, just to close that out. So we're not going to be spending $19,000 out of our 25-26 budget to be able to do that. And if we get the grant, we'll go back to the town and we'll see what they want to do at the time if we get the grant. The next is the server replacement. This has been more complicated. Technology, due to everything that's happening in our nation right now and in the world, prices are going up daily. And primarily prices of memory, which is coming from overseas suppliers. We had an original quote. We have this same server, the same computer that's over there, one computer, is out of warranty. So we said, rather than wait, let's spend the money now while we have the money, and let's go ahead and do it. Here's the problem, the conundrum. And the conundrum is, a month ago, this server cost just slightly shy of $20,000 to replace. Today, we just got a revised quote today, and it's had multiple increments. We have a revised quote now of $32,000 for the same server.
Not the 26.
Not the 26. Right, so forget the 26 that's in there. We're now up to 32, and it's all due to memory. So I worked with the town, and I proposed to the town that we hold. All right? It's not dead, it's not dysfunctional, it is perfectly working, it's just out of warranty. And we gamble a little bit and take the risk that memory prices may come down 6 months, a year, or whatever, and save on spending that money. The town has agreed, and so I am going to also table the server replacement. So that's additional money that we're not going to be taking out of this year's budget. Any questions on either of those two items? Late breaking. Eloise?
Can I ask a question?
Sure. I acknowledge you.
Did they say why, is it oil prices or tariffs? Do you
It's
know
just
why?
the memory. Wherever the server company is sourcing the memory for inside the server, that price went up. I don't know where that's being sourced from.
The AI companies are chewing up all of the memory. They're buying it up all over the place.
That's true.
They've been driving, this has been going on for a couple of months now, or longer. So there's not enough memory and it's all being sucked up by the AI companies.
Wow. And where are you sourcing it from?
I'm sorry, what?
Like, what's the company you were working with that you got the quote from?
Well,
I'll check it out.
It's on the,
PCA is on the server. PCA, we work with, they're now called something else. I forget what PCA is called. And they are our IT supplier. They then source the server. And it's the quote's out there. Sorry.
I don't know if you remember, but something similar happened to, there was a component in VWs that was only built in the Ukraine, and at the beginning of Russia's invasion of Ukraine, VW production had to stop as a result of this while they were trying to find new sources. So, you know, world events affect us.
So I don't know what's happening. I did upload some stuff. The next item on the agenda is software and accounting services. And I had put something up on the server, and it's not there. So I don't know what I did. But it was there. I promise you. But anyways, it's nothing that this board is not aware of. So I'll summarize. We have been working, when we did the budget, we discussed how we could advance our use of our current software service package that does what we were talking about, which is our financing plans. And we have outgrown our current software package, which is Municity. So the Municity's been around for a long time. We've been using it, but it's basically a spreadsheet, right? As was mentioned before, that gives us the ability to start to manipulate it, and it combines with state codes and everything else. So during the budget process, our treasurer Karen and I were tasked with finding ways to improve that process. And we spoke with various companies. One was Edmunds. It was a purchase software for $80,000, and we felt that was too much to spend. We also worked with, Karen, I'm drawing a blank on the Tyler Accounting, and that was really built for very large municipalities, so it had way too much for us to be able to package and receive. So we actually then met with a group called, oh, there it is underneath, Bonadito. And Bonadito is a company that services a lot of municipalities, but in difference of buying the software package that we currently have, kind of like today, when you buy a computer and you want to get Microsoft, you get a subscription to Microsoft. What this is a subscription service for a software package. That subscription service then stays up to date and is current, and it has a lot more flexibility and usability and visibility into it, and allows us to be able to see things real time, have the board review things real time, and have better accessibility to compiling things together. In addition, it offers us savings in the services that we get. We use a company today called RBT. RBT, if we, at the end of every month, we work with RBT to reconcile our accounts. They charge us in excess of $400 per hour to do the reconciliation work. Beyond Group would charge us $150 an hour. In addition to that, it also gives us the ability now to go from hard copy checks and signing the hard copy checks and mailing them out, and the cost for doing all that, to ACH billing, which is online billing, for a fee of $100 a month, which is a tremendous savings in not only time but in postage and going forward. So there's a lot of advantage going forward this package itself. We did not adopt the full scope of the package. The full scope of this package is really robust. We felt there was things that we could still do to move in-house, and they were agreeable that we have a cooperation between Beyond Group and us for balancing and using this software package. There is, going forward, if we adopt this, there's a one-time migration fee, which is typical of all software packages, which is $16,700. Our subscription fee is $650, and then there's the Sage Interact, which includes the users and employee users, which is $550 a month, and then the online payment, which I mentioned, which is the $100 per month. In addition, they do the monthly outsource accounting fee for us, which is that much more involved laundry list of things, which we can get into if you want, but that's $4,200. So all total, the cleanup, as I mentioned, was $150. So all total, this is a package that will improve our accountability, give us online visibility, give us online payments, make any other improvements going forward. And I'm out of things to say, and I'm going to ask Karen if I missed anything.
I think you got it all.
At this time, I'd like to take a motion to approve the contract with Biondo Group for the prices mentioned. And it's important that why we're doing this today is because we can now bring them in today to close out 25-26, which sets the stage for us for 26-27 going forward, rather than doing it. It is a big task. Doing the migration is not a simple thing. It's going to take a lot of work on our staff to be able to do that, but we think it's an important aspect and kind of moves us. What century are we in now? Are we still in the 22nd century? 21st century. Whatever. It makes us current and gets us out of where we were today, which is basically the Excel spreadsheet format that we have. So I'd like to make a motion to approve the contract with Biondo Corporation LLP.
Second.
Discussion.
So the first year, understanding that it does have that large implementation fee, what would roughly be the cost the first year?
$650 a month, plus the $100 a month for service, plus if we have any questions, $150.
Well, we have some people out in the audience. Can we just come up with a number for it?
Isn't the total $5,500 monthly split between general water and sewer? Is that what this says?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then plus the one-time implementation of 16.7.
So that'll probably, just given the timing of it, the 1670, I would imagine the implementation will probably start and then tying out the year, and then those monthlies would start June 1st.
Right. And this meets what we put into the budget. So we're not spending more
So,
than what we have in the
we
budget
put in
that we've allocated for it.
15,000 for water, 15,000 for sewer, and 20,000 for general fund.
Right.
For the 25-26 budget.
Correct.
Okay. And this,
And the 16,700,
No, it was in the 26-27 budget, the money we allocated.
correct. I know what,
I don't know if I,
Yeah.
you said.
okay, so
you
we're
said
talking,
26.
yeah, I meant current year budget.
Okay.
Because we're having this conversation
Now.
now. So this is not a 25-26 expenditure is what you're saying?
the 16,700 would be the current year for the implementation and for the transfer of the data and
Okay, and we do have $16,700.
in New York class.
So this would come out of fund balance?
Correct.
Okay. So we don't have a line item for this? This
No,
is
in
on
25-26,
Well,
we did not.
right, I didn't create the line item until.
No, that's okay. I just
came up
didn't
with
know,
the project.
because I know that we've been talking about this for a while, and I didn't remember
Yeah,
if we.
we did not have it in the last year budget.
Okay, so the 16.7 is coming out of fund balance for this year,
Correct.
and then the 5,500 is gonna come out of normal operating on the budget that we literally just passed for next year.
Correct.
Okay.
And that monthly fee will kick in after the installation is complete?
June 1st, right?
Yes.
And I will
So the-
confirm that with them.
Okay,
And
great.
can we just get a rough estimate of what we pay RBT just so that people see that there's an offset here too?
So we pay RBT approximately like 20,000 a year. Between bank recs, tying things out, issues that come up with the software, the fund balance not rolling over, and then the annual financial report.
And their fees just went up.
And then,
As well.
yes, their fee just went up as well. And I'm hoping that, not hoping that, I think that we can address some of the budget presentation issues within the software that I currently don't have now.
I mean, just my little window into what you're doing right now, your kind of Frankenstein system of exporting data into Excel, it's massive amount of work. So I think, I always thought that accounting, you're the lifeblood of an organization, so that, I think this is
One of the
important.
things I didn't mention is today we do a lot of manual transfers,
Right.
which is just prone for
Errors.
errors. This will link us to Paychecks, which is our current online payroll processing system.
Yeah.
It'll link us to MuniLink for our transaction processing
The water and sewer,
and the water, for the
water and sewer
So
deposits and
all of that manual journaling can go away.
Perfect.
Big leap forward.
Yeah, and I think it's essential. It's essential.
Long time coming. Any other questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. So approved. Thank you. Eleanor, land survey.
All right, so I have a quote, here for surveying the municipal lot, and that little lot behind that goes down, sort of down into the hill where the composting dumpster is. And the reason for that is that as I become involved as the parks liaison, I'm finding out, for example, in the mini park, we still are mowing lawn that actually belongs to the school district. We cut down trees that belong to the school district. Over in the municipal lot, we have an issue with a pollinator garden where we're not sure whose property it's on. Now, the neighbor's been very good about it, but that doesn't mean that subsequent neighbors would feel the same way. So it's kind of nice to know whether the pollinator garden is or is not in our lot. There's also a question about a stump there. And then if you go back behind where Arroy is, that's quite there's just cars and stuff all over the place, and what's our property, what's somebody else's property. And the reason I'm proposing to start with that lot is because according to you said, Rick, that the Safe Routes probably will do any surveying that we might need on the Lions Mini Park,
Yeah.
so we don't have to do that again.
This is already surveyed at a 1-foot contour.
Can you all speak up?
I'm sorry, this is, we have a, thank you. As part of the Safe Routes to School project, we are having a bunch of surveying done. So we have a 1-foot contour interval survey of the Lions Mini Park, which is basically what we need to be able to work in there. It's got the property boundaries and the floodplain and all kind of good stuff. So we have that in hand now, and they will share it with us for whatever our purposes.
So I contacted several surveyors. It was very difficult to get quotes. One person I even met, and I happened to meet him in person, and then I followed up. I didn't get a quote. Another responded that they will be out of the office until tomorrow, but I'm trying to get this under the wire so that it can come out of this year's budget. And so of all the quotes that I got, Johnson Surveying was the lowest at $1,500. It is a boundary survey map, includes a PDF certified map of the property, including all permanent buildings and fixtures in relation to the boundary lines. This service does not include staking or topography, but we do get the CAD files since I asked for them. So I'd like to make a motion that we accept the $1,500 quote from Johnson Surveying.
Second.
Question, it's hard, it's sort of little apples and oranges, but if part of the issue is that we don't actually know where the boundary is, don't we need someone to stake it out for us? Or put a flag somewhere, or do something?
I'm trying to keep the price down. I mean,
No,
of
no,
course,
I
I want to do the whole 9 yards,
No,
but
well, I fully appreciate keeping the price down, but I'm wondering how useful a survey is going to be if we don't actually know where the physical boundary is.
Don't they just put corners?
it says a boundary map includes a PDF certified map of the property, including all permanent buildings and fixtures in
Won't they
relation
put
to.
corner markers in when doing that?
I mean, the only one that says that they're gonna put corner markers in is this Crawford and Associates one. The other
That
two
one was way out, yeah, that one was very,
Yeah, that one's much more expensive. Johnson specifically says it's not gonna do it, and then Decker doesn't say.
well, I asked Decker for a requote because his was pretty old, but he
Okay.
never could, they didn't get back to me, so.
They're also busy. I would just, yeah, $1,500 for a map I think is super useful, but if part of the issue is in fact, where specifically out there is the boundary line, I do think that we need to stake it.
And we're actually getting questions from a property owner on Center Street, because there's this access way between two properties.
Yeah, there's
That's
that
on the
easement.
deed.
Yeah.
And if you look at the old maps, it shows a right-of-way across the back of the property.
Yeah, there was
As
supposed to
well.
be, an alley that goes through that.
Yeah, there was, yeah.
Well, I
And
mean, I can ask him to requote it and stake it and see if it's lower than
at
the
least
other.
the corner stakes, I would say, right? Can we get away with just corner staking?
I mean, the corner stakes is just those metal things that
Yeah,
folks can then find,
Decker
right?
gave me corner markers, and
Yeah.
they're,
Yeah, but you have to pay for it, I think.
yeah, well, yeah.
Because they have to do more work to actually
Located.
locate them.
Well, he found pins, and then he came with his measuring instruments.
Yeah, here's
for
the way I
guys.
understand it. You can go to a computer and you can plot out a map, and these surveyors have very good equipment to do all that. But then you have to go research records to actually come and physically locate it and tag it. So it's two kind of things. I'm wondering if we're just paying for the computer version
Oh.
versus the actual physical marking of it. Right, so, given what we don't know and what we think we know.
I mean, I can go back, I just won't get it under the wire for this year, that's all.
Well,
I mean, we do
you
have someone,
You have a month, yeah, we have till
Well,
May 31st.
we do, except that they don't, they.
We can pay for it, right, this year.
Okay.
So the object is, let's try to get it paid for, which is what we agreed to do.
Are you
Right.
having your second meeting this month?
yeah.
And then we're gonna have one, and we're gonna have one in May.
Yeah, I'll try to get them
Yeah,
fast
so
response.
let's see if we can get the corner, we can get the corner.
Yeah. Thank you, sorry,
Yeah.
Eleanor.
No,
That's a lot of work. I know
Sorry,
it's a
I
lot of
mean,
fun.
I've never been involved in the survey, so.
Yeah, no worries.
Come on, you're on a
Learning.
farm, you never surveyed your farm? Never surveyed a field? Okay.
No, I mean, there was a woods there, there was a swamp there, there was the neighbor's land there, what was to survey? As long as we
Just
didn't
ask.
fight with the neighbors, we were good, we didn't.
Just asking
We
though.
tried not to fight with the neighbors.
All right, thank you. All right, so we're gonna go on. What was not on the schedule also was mulch. It was asked earlier. We are in the process of selling mulch, okay? We do that every year. This year, there is gonna be a slight change, and it's really driven by gas costs in terms of what we're trying to do. So I put this out there. We're gonna have the same mulch sale this year, and it was $40 a yard, it was $40 per yard, or $30 a yard for 5 or more yards, with free delivery from the village, unless they, and here where the change comes in. Free delivery within the village was always. Now, if the order is under 3 yards, which is a good-sized truckload, it's $15 to have it delivered, delivery charge. So that was free. So that's really the change that we're making. The changes for delivering outside the village remain the same, but we're not going to reduce the price. We're going to keep the price. But if you get under 3 yards, right, there's going to be a $15 charge. Okay? The loading fee, if you get a truckload, still $150, and it's $50 delivery in the town or $60 delivery outside of the town. I'd like to make a motion to approve our mulch sale for 2026.
Second.
Any questions? We don't make any money on this, just so everybody knows.
In fact, we're losing money on it.
Actually, is the mulching something that you have to do? Or is it something that could just go away if you're losing money on it?
Well, if it goes away, then we're not picking up anything in the village.
Right.
And
I mean, you can't like dump it somewhere. There's
No.
nowhere, okay. It needs to be mulched.
Yeah, we tried to figure that one out. We tried to convince someone else to buy the brush, or not even buy the brush from us, just take the brush from
yeah,
us.
we will haul it to you.
Okay. So you're
No
defraying the costs, but not concerned
Until we
about-
find a better process.
Right, okay. Got it. Yeah.
Believe it or not, we have a great urban forest, and it keeps producing more mulch, more debris every year, which is great.
Yeah.
But every year, our supply goes up, and now where we were mulching one time a year for $8,000, now we're mulching 2 times a year for $16,000,
Right,
right, to get it done.
right.
And we're not making $16,000 on the sale. But we have to get rid of it because we can't store it,
Right.
and we have to make room for next year.
Right.
So,
Okay.
hence the short story.
This is part of why we wanted to put compost out there, because we could use the mulch for the compost. Okay.
All right. Next, Rick.
Task order.
Yeah,
Okay.
crosswalks.
Excellent. So this also is a very last-minute item, and I will tell you what it is, and we'll talk about what it's for. This is a task order from Ty and Bond to do the work to get 2 crosswalks permitted on East Market Street, one here at Center Street and the other at Parsonage Street. And the situation here is that, first off, this is a state road, so we are not allowed to just go out and stripe it ourselves. And the state requires things like pedestrian counts and volume and numbers and sight lines and stuff like that if they're going to issue a permit for the creation of, or the painting in of a sidewalk. We're under a little bit of time pressure, but in the best way for this, actually. The state is coming to pave East Market Street from the light all the way up to the fork in the road, I think sometime in the next 8 weeks or so.
Within the first 2 weeks of May, they're going to start.
First 2 weeks of May, okay. So these crosswalks, well, first of all, there was no crosswalk that was scheduled for here at Center Street, and there was no work that was scheduled to be done at Parsonage Street. Through a combination of the mayor and myself, we prevailed upon state DOT to actually go ahead and bring up to code the crosswalks or the curb aprons at South Parsonage Street. So basically, instead of us having to go in there and do it ourselves, which is very expensive, as part of the state's repaving project, they're going to put in compliant, ADA compliant crosswalks, or I shouldn't say crosswalks, aprons for crosswalks. If we get the permitting done in time, then we'll have them paint them too. So that's what we're trying to do. We're under a little bit of, as I said, we're under a little bit of time pressure because we want to get all these things together. But it's really an incredibly wonderful constellation of events. We have wanted a crosswalk at Parsonage Street and East Market Street forever.
Connect with Safe Routes.
To connect, yes, I should say also that part of what's going on is this will connect with our Safe Routes to School sidewalk, which is going down South Parsonage Street all the way to Knollwood, and then on the south side of Knollwood all the way to Chancellor. We'll be seeing some plans soon, next month or so. Folks will have a chance to react to those plans. But this really has come together very nicely, and it's really a very exciting thing. And you know, we have to invest. We explored if we could. It just seemed so obvious that those were good places for crosswalks, and so we asked DOT, like, come on, you can just permit it for us, and they said no, we have to go do all of the paperwork. So this is a task order from Ty and Bond to collect all of the necessary data, collate it, to create crosswalks here at Center Street and Market Street, and at Parsonage Street and East Market Street. The scope of work would cost $10,000 to do. I will say that this came in late. This did not include beacons at Parsonage Street.
We can figure that out later.
Which is something that we would like to see. So I've asked Brandy if she can give us a quote for how much it would cost to do the additional installation, we think, at the school, heavily used school crossing. That would be a good thing to have. But again, that's another step in the permit process. So I'd like to make a motion to accept our task order number 02-2026, which is on the cloud, by the way, if you guys want. I did post it up, for time bond to do the engineering work to get the permitting for crosswalks here at Center Street and at Parsonage Street.
Second.
Discussion. Are they
So-
still doing Mulberry?
So,
I don't know.
Right, so the original plans, as everybody knows, they were going to do a crosswalk at Mulberry.
well, there is a crosswalk at Mulberry.
Well, but
They were
gonna
gonna
paint
do the aprons.
the aprons, and
At
they have to
Mulberry.
be code legal crosswalks, to paint. That was in their plan. We asked them to say, can we swap Mulberry for Parsonage, because we felt Parsonage was a higher priority. I guess we don't know the answer. We know they're gonna do Parsonage if we get this permitting done, but we don't know the answer for
I
Mulberry.
don't know what the status of the Mulberry,
And here it's just painting.
right, here it's just painting, but again, that requires a permit.
Right.
And yeah, I mean, basically, my discussion with them is, are you going to do it over there? And the answer was yes, and I didn't get into Mulberry.
Right,
I think there's an opportunity here to thank the Comp Plan Implementation Committee for flagging this. So this conversation started in December in our meetings. I know, you guys have been talking about it for ages.
This conversation started in 2011
I-
with the
I
sidewalk
know it
committee.
did, but the conversation around which crosswalks to prioritize started in the implementation committee in December.
All right, y'all got credit. You know,
And I-
y'all can get credit.
Yeah, but I just want to point out that as part of this work, we discovered that it takes approximately $200,000 to build out 4 aprons that are ADA compliant in order to cross a state road. So the fact that DOT is going to be doing this as part of its repaving projects just saved the village $200,000, either in grants or in taxpayer dollars or in whatever. So I am deeply grateful that all of this kismet all just sort of happened all at the same time.
So you want to give credit, I'm the one that pushed it to get it done. So there.
I was on this one.
All right, I do
And
have
I
a question.
and I gave it to Rick.
Eleanor's got a question.
Yeah, so are you saying they're going to put flashing lights at Parsonage?
We don't.
We haven't figured that out.
This is not the flashing lights.
But that's your plan eventually.
I think, we should discuss that.
Okay.
But I think from what I've heard from implementation committee plans and other folks, I think for the kids, they feel like they would like to have it. But that is a discussion we should and could have down the road.
So there is a question that is unclear. There is a status about those beacons that is unclear. The contract that we have with Rudy's says that the permit fee for these beacons is $1,200 something a year. As far as we know, nobody can actually confirm getting charged $1,200 a year for these beacons.
It's a maintenance contract.
It's a maintenance contract. So we need to figure out before we make this decision, and there's a lot of people who feel strongly about the beacons writ large, but a bottom line thing that we do need to figure out before we really sort of go into whether or not we want flashing beacons is this a $1,200 a year charge, or is it $1,200 every time we need to do something to it, which is significantly less often than every year? So that is something we do need to figure out.
But not for today.
Not for today, I know, but I'm
Not
just
for today.
like.
And there are reasonable aesthetic questions that people can ask too. So
Exactly.
It's a matrix there.
Yes.
Subject for another day.
Yes.
So we have a motion and a second to
Where
approve.
in the budget is this coming from? Just
So I wheeled my chair over to Karen, and
I just saved you over $20,000, we can take it out of
there you
this
go.
budget.
So actually,
Okay.
so come out of this year's budget, it will come out of the contingency line for this year's budget.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all.
The server we're not gonna buy.
There you go.
Could I just ask a quick question on this? Have you collected data, or have the police on the speed that cars are coming into the village down there, it's horrific.
I don't know.
I'm sorry, your question was, do we collect data on that?
Yeah.
Yes, we do, and we download the data off of the machine that does it, yes.
Yeah, because you were talking about tie and bond contract to collect data, and I just
No,
wondered.
no,
if you-
time,
Are you
Time, that's
also,
good.
different counts.
Different counts, they're tracking pedestrian counts across that street.
yes, but I'm just saying, do you have also the data on the speed with which cars are coming?
Yeah, we know number of cars, and we know, Donna, if it's you. No, I'm kidding.
It's never me in the village.
I'm kidding. We don't know.
Put a speed bump by the mobile station.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye. Thank you very much.
All right, we have one more item that didn't make the agenda, and that was information I've been sharing with the board also. If everybody knows, this is the 250-year anniversary celebration of our country. It's also the 260th year of the Beekman Arms. So there's been a discussion in relatively very short time here on having an event here in the village of Rhinebeck to commemorate both of those occasions. And we've been working with a small group of people that includes the Beekman Arms, the Chamber, the Fairgrounds, and myself here in the village, and Dutchess County Historical Society, which is who we really met with first. And the desire was to have an event. The question was, how do we have an event and what do we do? So we focused on two things. One was a 2-hour event at Beekman Arms, on the lawn of the Beekman Arms, that will consist of reenactors who will be performing reenactment kind of things, and in addition to musicians who will be performing period-related music, all in uniform. In addition to a photographer, if you want to get your picture taken with one of the reenactors, for your memorabilia to do. Combining with that on the same lawn is a storyteller, which is a person by the name of Jonathan Kruk, who is a professional storyteller. He actually does a lot of work with Santa Claus as well when they do their events. He has agreed to also kind of do an animated version of the Declaration of Independence, which would involve people and the crowd and everybody speaking and enjoying and participating in that, in addition to some other storytelling later in the evening, which would either be at Foster's Lawn or at maybe another location, TBD. In addition to that, the Dutchess County Historical Society is producing a banner to commemorate the occasion, and if you haven't been to the Dutchess County Historical Society, I really recommend that you go. There is 6 banners down there, roughly 4 foot by 6 foot, that detail out the history. You cannot talk about the Revolutionary period without talking about Rhinebeck. And a lot of that is on display at the Dutchess County Historical Society. That'll all be relocated here in front of the Beekman Arms. If the weather's good, it will be outside. If not, it will be inside. So that will be from 3 to 5. I did mention the date. The date is July 25th. If you wanted to get any of this to happen prior to July 4th, forget it. Everybody's booked. They're just not available to be able to do. And there's even bookings after. We're fortunate enough to be able to get New York State 5th Regiment, which is the reenactors, and Jonathan Kruk to be able to do this 2-hour program from 3 to 5 at the lawn of the Beekman Arms. In addition, the Beekman Arms will be having food, beverages, and kind of some stuff to help you commemorate the occasion while you're there all day long. So there's a lot of participants in that phase of it. After 5 o'clock, we quiesce for a couple hours. People can shop and dine and hopefully enjoy the village as much as possible. 7 o'clock, the main event happens. The fairgrounds parking lot opens up, and there's going to be a tailgate fireworks at the fairgrounds, sponsored by the Dutchess County Fairgrounds. The fireworks, the parking lot will open up at 7. This is not the fairgrounds, just the parking lots. The fireworks will be taken off, if you know where the cell tower is, up on the hill, kind of closer to the cell tower, to give you a clue where to park if you want to get up close. And the fireworks will commence at 9:15. And at the end of the fireworks, we can all clap and applaud and go home. So with that, I am asking for the village board approval to fund the reenactors and the storyteller, because the fireworks and everything else is being paid for by other participants, for a cost of $1,700 for the reenactors and $650 for the storyteller, for a total of $2,350. And we can actually take the money out of this year's budget to be able to do this and make us all whole. So I'd like to make a motion to approve funding this event, which is bringing something to the village of Rhinebeck that I think is going to be unique and will attract people to come to our village on July 25th.
Second.
Discussion.
I would like to separate that motion and have one motion for the storyteller and the Declaration of Independence and the discussion of our history, and a different resolution for war reenactors. And the reason for that is, to begin with, we have plenty of civic organizations that think civically in this village. And I am disappointed that taxpayers are being asked to fund this when I believe that an enormous amount of taxpayer dollars are being spent on this particular moment in American history all over the country. But secondly, if I'm going to be strong-armed into supporting this, I am deeply not okay with having taxpayer dollars go to a war reenactment. The 250th anniversary that we are celebrating this year is about the Declaration of Independence. It is about oh my God, it's about what created this country. And we are currently in a situation in this country where that declaration and what it stands for is slowly being ignored, slowly and then quickly all at once. I don't know when the last time anyone read the Declaration of Independence, but it's a little jarring at this moment in history to go through the list of all the things that King George did and that they listed out. I also feel very strongly that given how delighted this country seems to be to create war where it is entirely unnecessary, that celebrating muskets and uniforms and people in battle is not where we should be pointing our efforts. So I would like to make a motion to amend that resolution to separate the two costs into two resolutions.
Well, I'll second it because I also have some objections. Mine are different. I'm actually currently taking a course which is called The Legacy of Exclusion, and it goes back before the Declaration of Independence, but there's a lot of exclusionary language in the Declaration of Independence, and so I'm not comfortable with, I mean, not that I wasn't aware of all this stuff, but when you take a whole course on it, it really opens up your eyes. So if that's not included in this, then, I do think, to be fair, some of that should be included so that people kind of get a balanced sense of, who were the people who were, declared to be independent, who had the inalienable rights, to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Well, those were, white males who had, who owned land.
Yep.
So you can, and we can, work with these storytellers and the musicians, because it is not two singular events. It's a combined event, them working together, sharing music, sharing storytelling, sharing some reenactments, and we can actually, they've asked, and the Dutchess County Historical Society is going to give them things related to the village of Rhinebeck to be able to talk about and say. And so it's not, let's go shoot a musket. It's about, let's talk about Rhinebeck, and let's talk about what Rhinebeck meant to the Revolutionary period, and let's talk about the celebration of our country combined with the Declaration of Independence. So I don't view these two as two separate events. I disagree. I know you've been kind of against this from the start and been...
Well, we don't budget for anything. We don't have budget for
I
Santa Claus. We
understand,
don't have budget for Porch Fest. We don't have budget for anything.
I understand. And if a civic organization would have come up and wanted to do this, I'd be all over it. Unfortunately, we have no civic organization that want to come up. We can still search for somebody, but if we want to lock these people in and have something, now's the time, or we're going to lose them, because they have other events to go to. They are obliged to want to come to Rhinebeck because they want to come to Rhinebeck. They're going to drop other things because they want to be here. The 5th Regiment is dropping things, the Storyteller's dropping things to make our date of July 25th. The fireworks are locked in for July 25th. We have the guy on the hook. We have the budget on the hook from the fairgrounds to do this. This is a once-in-a-lifetime celebration of our country. Granted, I agree with you. There's a lot of crap happening, but we also have to appreciate how we got here.
Did the chamber say no?
What?
Did you ask the chamber and they said they couldn't?
The chamber will be working with us on this.
No, I meant in terms of giving some money.
The chamber will be working with this. I haven't gone to them and asked them because they're still deciding what they want to do. But if you delay, you're not going to get these guys. That's the bottom line.
I'm going to jump in here because I'm going to go backwards because I think, Lydia, I really disagree with your history, and I think, Eleanor, I disagree with your history as well. For this reason, coming out of the Passover season, when the Continental Congress decided to create the Declaration of Independence, they knew that they could hang for treason.
Yeah.
They knew that this was going to be won at the force of arms and that they were taking on the mightiest empire at the time. So I think even though I'm not trying to celebrate the violence now, but liberation is costly, and I think we need to understand that. And Eleanor, I would say that my ideal of America is founded in the documents. And we know that the people who created them were flawed and certainly, were full of contradictions and did things that we would consider unacceptable. But they bequeathed us the idea that all men, they weren't finished, that all men are created equal. And even if they didn't live up to it, they gave us something that we can move forward. And nobody's perfect. We live in a world which we're always attempting to perfect. And we have got some amazing foundational documents. And it's up to us to bring them to the full flower of their words. But I'm not going to dispose of those original documents because the people who put it together were contradictory and flawed. We are inheritors of an amazing set of ideas and a set of ideals. And I'm not going to let their flaws prevent me from pursuing, I think, what we all want.
I'm not talking, this course is not about the flaws of the people who created the documents, although obviously that is part of it. This is about the flaws in the documents themselves, which is why we are...
Can I just add, I'm probably the only person here who actually reenacted this stuff. So my parents had us involved with the Brigade of the American Revolution, reenacting battle events from the time I was a very small child through my teenage years. So I think maybe a little bit I can put your mind at ease. The people who do these reenactments are incredibly serious about the history. Like warts and all. I don't, for at least in my experience, it's not just about getting out their muskets and shooting at, shooting fake bullets at each other. There's entire classroom set up for how camps were set up and the sutlers and the history behind it, including all of the contradictory and warts and all. So I think that, I support the event. I think, it's no secret that I think that Rhinebeck should be supporting events that foster community pride, generally speaking, and I would think that moving forward, maybe we could allocate budget to that. But for now, I think the event is great. I do think it's a unique opportunity in Rhinebeck's time, and I think it's I think your concerns are well-founded and well-heard, and I think that the reenactors can be told this, and they can put that within context. I'm certain that the Historical Society would support
We have a
support
chance
that.
to work with them
Exactly.
if we hire them. If we don't hire them, then we don't work with them. Done.
Are we still going to continue to try to cover the costs so that it doesn't come
I
out?
can try, but if I get the commitment from the board, at least we can lock them in. And if we get the money, we get the money, right? I don't make any promises.
No, I understand, but I just would feel more comfortable if somebody else funded it.
Where are you suggesting the money comes from in the current year budget, contingency?
The 2350, Karen.
2350 would come from contingency and be put into community action, which is where, like the 6310, which is where center class was. And where it's just it's the category that's, we have for community action.
Okay. Total sidebar, but I also just realized that we could have taken the money for your accounting software out of Gary's server. Okay, so Eleanor seconded the motion to split the baby.
Yeah, so we still have to vote on this.
So, how do you want to handle
I don't
this?
think I got a full vote on
No, we didn't.
either of them.
We didn't vote.
So,
Yeah, we have to vote.
She wants to amend,
well,
she
why don't we
wants to
just,
amend my motion.
You still
Just
want
put
to
them in
amend
two.
it, because I'll keep the second if you still wish to amend it.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Okay, so now we have to
I
decide.
know you challenge us legally, and you know legally we can do it.
I know, legally we can do it. I tried everything. It doesn't help when they're called the 5th Battalion.
The regiment.
Regiments, sorry.
okay, I'm not sure where we're at.
Pardon the pun, but don't.
I think we have to call a vote for Lydia's motion.
Right, this is a call for Lydia's motion. All in favor of supporting the amended motion, say aye.
Which
Aye.
is to split it.
Which is to split it.
Which is to split.
No. Okay, good.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Aye. Did you vote? I'm sorry.
Nay.
Motion denied. All in favor of supporting the original motion to pay $2,350 out of contingency, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Motion passed. Thank you. That's it for,
No, we also have this 25-mile-an-hour thing.
Okay,
No.
I'm gonna ask that to be tabled, at least for a cycle, so I can bring the board some more information.
yeah, that didn't make the agenda either. Okay. Let's talk about the continued conversation about EV charging. We've been doing a lot of work about our EV charging station. We're in the discussion now,
Wait, 7.
okay?
Yep.
There's no second for that.
No, I said 7.
Item
She was
7.
looking for it, I said number 7.
Item 7.
So, oh, sorry. Place is second, sorry. We've been discussing this multiple times. I did some recent work on the EV charging stations, which I sent back to you. And just to recap quickly, we have 2 EV charging stations. One is on a non-demand meter, the other one is on a demand meter. One we pay 11 cents a kilowatt hour for, and the other one we pay 27 cents a kilowatt hour for. And we're not making money on doing this. We've actually lost $6,000 in our last year's budget on subsidizing EV charging. So I think we're all in agreement. We want to make this pay for itself. And the question was, how do we make it pay for itself? And the work that I did, just to cut to the chase here, is if we look at the total kilowatt hours that we use, which is 45,000 kilowatt hours a year, and we look at where that 45,000 kilowatt hours is used, with 3/4 of it being on the demand meter and 1/4 of it being on the non-demand meter, we can figure out a cost that covers the cost of our kilowatt hours, plus the cost of a cloud. We need to put this on the cloud so that we can charge. If we don't have the cloud, we can't charge. And we also have a server maintenance. So the cloud cost is $370 per port per year, and the maintenance cost is $600 per station per year, which gives us a combined cost of $5,000. If you spread that out, that comes out to between 37 and 38 cents a kilowatt hour that we could charge. high. It's higher than anybody around us and higher than the state average is right now for level 2 chargers. But if we want to make that, that's kind of where we have to be to move forward. So that's my discussion. If anybody wants to add to that.
Thanks for crunching all those numbers. You know, I think the numbers are what they are.
Do we need to set that rate by resolution, or is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would argue to just charge 40 cents and call it a day.
I agree.
The issue with that, once you get up into the 40 cents, you start approaching level 3 chargers and what level 3 chargers are charging. And here's the issue. If you make it so high that people aren't using it, you're not going to recover your costs because you're selling less widgets. You have to make it competitive enough so people want to use the charger, right? And in terms of making it sellable to people. So if you can charge whatever number you want, but at some point you're going to reach where it doesn't make sense because you're not going to be selling kilowatt hours anymore because your user base is going to say, well, it's cheaper, I'll just put in one at home, you know, or whatever, which a lot of people do anyways, and have that, right? But
They don't have level 2s at home.
yeah, they do. That's the standard charger for at home is level 2. Yeah. Yeah, 240 volt level 2 chargers. A level 1 charger is a 120 volt outlet.
Yeah, no, I know
A
that.
level 2 is the box that you buy
Right.
and hook up. But most people I know who put in level 2 chargers at home.
Sure. But aren't most people charging here for convenience? Is that, isn't it, which makes it a little bit less price sensitive?
We already are more expensive than charging at home. And so if anybody is charging here already, then they're charging here because they're not charging at home.
Yeah, and you can go into our dashboard and you can start looking at unique users. It breaks out unique users versus non-unique. We get a ton of repetitive users. So if the repetitive users are, you're saying, are tourists coming in, that's not happening unless it's the same tourists coming all the time. And we know that's not the case because we have a high volume of non-unique users coming into using our charging stations.
Right, but what I'm saying is that those non-unique users are not bypassing our charging stations and going home where it already is cheaper to charge.
But don't forget that some people can't charge at home, like you live in an apartment like
Right,
Village
some
Green,
people,
and you cannot charge at home.
Right.
Or any other, some people just don't have the facility if they're renters. And besides Village Green, there's renters that aren't allowed to put chargers.
At the current usage, what's the break-even point?
37, between
38?
37, 38, you pick the number, I don't care. That's the break even. That's the break even. We need to make $17,000 if you go by the kilowatt hour rate of what we spent last year on electric plus this cloud and server. Our total expense is $17,000. At this, we can reach the $17,000 if we maintain the same user rate.
Well, why don't we make it 38 for a certain amount of time, see if we lose usage, and then,
That seems reasonable.
and you can always move it up.
Yeah, pick the time period.
That seems
6 months?
How long?
That'll take 6 months, take it through the fall.
Yeah, at least.
To the end of the year.
Our busy time is now through
Yeah,
October.
October.
Yeah,
Great.
in November, that's our
Then
busy
let's
time.
rethink it in November.
It drops off
Yeah.
significantly then
Yeah.
in the winter month until we get back to April again.
And probably the people who use it in the winter months really need to use it, so we can jack up the price on it.
Yeah, because the batteries don't last as long in cold weather.
There you go.
I mean, I have a feeling that the 2 cents a kilowatt hour, if we do it for 3 months versus 2 months, I think we're talking about trivial amounts of money. I
Yes.
would aim for the break-even point, and we should see what happens to demand, and we can
Yeah.
become flexible from there.
I think so.
I would imagine, given fuel prices, people would be delighted to spend, I don't know, $1 a kilowatt hour at this point, by the way. But yeah, that's,
And we, just to put everything on the table, we have a risk of two electric prices going up, and this will give us a chance to monitor what's going to happen with the current electric rates as well.
right, and we should actually keep that in mind for the 6-month.
Right, that's my point.
Yeah.
And the other thing we can look at is why are we a demand meter over there and a non-demand meter here? I don't understand that yet, because Central Hudson can't give me the data to say, on this day, you exceeded the 10 kW, and then I could go back and look at the dashboard and say, oh, on that date at that time, we had X amount of cars. We were full and they were all X cars, right? I can't make that correlation today, because the utility company doesn't help us do that. All we know is that in a 15-minute period, in a month, if you exceed 10 kW, you get a demand rate for the whole month, right? So that's what drives us up to the 27 cents versus the 11 cents.
Right.
We could be a little competitive if we weren't a demand meter.
Right.
This is why we split them over here, to get these off of the demand. And when we split the meters over here, that's over. Now, just remember, when you pay this over there, you're also paying for all the lights and whatever electricity it's using. It's just not EV charging. You're paying for electric consumption of the municipal lot as well in that fee. But I don't have to figure that out. I don't know how much that costs us, to say that that's the portion that added to the bill. Unless we wanted to go to a cost to put in an extra meter, and I don't think that's worth it until we can understand the data. It might be worth it when and if we get the grant for the level 3 charger. That might be an opportunity for us to be able to go ahead. Okay. And we'll know that in July, but that won't be installed till fall time.
So do we want to actually pass that rate today?
Well, I thought the goal was we wanted to do this as soon as possible, right?
Yeah, sure.
I thought that
I
was
think
the goal. Otherwise, they want to spend
Yeah, no.
100 hours doing this.
Would you like to vote on it today?
Yeah.
Okay, because it's under discussion. So,
Yeah.
okay, great. Then I suggest a resolution that we increase our kilowatt hour charge to 38 cents per kilowatt hour.
Second.
Starting May 1?
Starting
As soon as I can figure out how to make the
April
change.
15th.
Okay,
Tax day.
okay, gotcha,
Now I got to figure out how to make the change in the cloud.
gotcha, okay.
And I also, to add to that, I think we should put a sign on as
Yeah,
well.
we did that last time.
Yeah, the rate is now X.
I mean, they can see it on the app, but
Yeah, I don't know if it shows them on the app.
yeah, under charge point.
It does.
Yeah, it shows you on the app.
Okay.
It doesn't say this is a new rate, but it tells you what the rate is.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, on-call tree services. We lost our crowd, thank you for staying.
Oh, yeah, we're
Are you having fun?
This discussion can be very interesting.
We even lost Daily Catch. We went out for a request, as in addition to all of our other requests, for an electrical person and a person to do maintenance for us on some of our vehicles, but we also decided that we'd be wise to have a person that would be dedicated to on-call for if we have emergency tree service that needs to be done. This is not the residential tree service, this is village work-related tree service that we need to be done. And we've got 2 quotes, both very competitive quotes, but at the end of the day, Dave's tree service came in slightly less than New England property maintenance. So I'd like to make a motion to approve Dave's tree service for our Village of Rhinebeck tree services contractor. Second. You second?
And they're
Closer too.
Any discussion?
Well, I just want to say for the folks that are always talking about transparency, this is actually. For the folks who are always talking about transparency and the things that we're doing, this is actually one of the things that we are doing now, so that when we make these calls, we know, you know, how much it costs. So these were things that were sort of taken care of by handshakes or on call, and now we have an actual record. So for those folks who are thinking about it, this is what we're doing.
All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right. Next on the agenda is New York State Department of Transportation.
It was just a blank permit.
This is the permit for New York State DOT. And basically, what this is a open permit that allows us to do work versus getting a permit on every time. So it's standard DOT documentation that we should have, and it's been recommended by New York State DOT, our local office, that we adopt a resolution to approve each act, rather than having an individual permit, we can have a open permit that covers any emergency repairs that the village is required to undertake on state roads.
Oh, God, so this isn't things like the crosswalk.
No.
This is just like letting our highway guys do their job.
Or if we have to dig up a road because of a water break.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Yeah, if
exactly.
that's what you mean by doing a job.
Yeah,
Right.
okay.
So that's what this does. It gives us that ability to be able to do that.
Sure.
It's a long resolution, knowing New York State DOT, but I'd like to make a motion to approve the New York State Department of Transportation in connection with work affecting state highways for the village of Rhinebeck.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Granicus. This is a yearly resolution for Granicus. For everybody that doesn't know, we use a service that was hired by Dutchess County called Granicus. They, for a fee, monitor all of our short-term rentals in the village of Rhinebeck. And they send us notification if they find somebody that's not permitted to do a short-term vacation rental in the village of Rhinebeck. It has happened on occasion, not very frequently, but it basically does happen. And for using that, the county then reimburses us to be able to go back and hire Granicus up to the fee. So this is a renewal, and what they sent us was last year's, but they want us to renew last year's. The wording is still the same. The extension of the agreement shall be effective from July 15, 2025, and shall terminate on July 14, 2026. This one would go from July 14, 2026 to July 14, 2027. I asked them for an update. I didn't get it, but they told me it's a date change, and asked if we would approve this so that they can get that into the records. I'd like to make a motion again to approve Granicus as our monitoring for short-term vacation rentals for the village of Rhinebeck.
Second.
Discussion.
It used to cost $4,000 and we were reimbursed $4,000. It now costs more than that,
No, it's the same fee.
but they reimburse less than that.
They
You're reimbursed.
Hold on, I'm asking Karen.
Oh.
You are correct, but I think we budgeted correctly.
We did budget correctly, but, it's still cheaper than going on our own, but it's kind of a bummer because they used to reimburse us for all of it and now they reimburse us.
And that's
for
why I want to answer. They're
less of it.
reimbursing 2,500. It's a number that we used in our budget,
Right.
to answer your question.
Yep.
Okay. We covered mulch up there with some mulch.
We
Was,
need to
Do we vote on
Yeah.
that?
oh, I'm sorry. All
Oh,
right.
did you vote? I
No, we'll go.
Yes,
Motion
that's
and
all
second.
set.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Special requests.
It is fun. We also have break seats.
The first one is the Distinguished Gentleman's Ride, which is an event that happens every year. It's a motorcycle rally that convenes in the corner parking lot on the corner of Mill Street and Mulberry, where it meets. And they submitted an event application because they congregate there and there's 500 motorcycles and they all leave at once. We don't incur any additional cost for doing this. What we do is let them out, but in previous years, we've stopped them, we held everybody else up at the lake. This year, we're not holding anybody up at the lake. If they come to the lake, they're gonna have to wait till the light change, and they're gonna have to catch up, so there's no cost for us to occur this. The state police then pick up the rest of their tour that they do. So I'd like to make a motion to approve the Distinguished Gentleman Ride for that steps in the village of Rhinebeck.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 Next is the mini middle school fundraising at the Lions event. Again, this is a yearly event to take place on May 22nd in Mini Park in the Pavilion from 4 to 7 p.m. It's sponsored by the Rhinebeck Middle School Civics class to hold their event at the Mini Park. I'd like to make a motion to approve the Rhinebeck Middle School Civics class to use the Mini Park from 4 to 7 p.m. on May 22nd.
Second.
Do we know what they're doing?
That's what I was wondering. I'm just curious.
Yeah, it's not clear.
It's not clear, and I don't have a definitive answer to that, only because they say that they're going to gather and have like a little picnic for the class. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
I do not have the road closures.
Yeah, we do.
Is it up there?
Yeah.
I didn't see that. I told Huck we weren't going to do that tonight, but I guess we are. Sorry, Huck. Sorry, Huck, my apologies. Every year, the Dutchess County Fairgrounds submits to us a road closure schedule for their events. This year, the Dutchess County Fairgrounds is requesting Thursday, May 30th through Tuesday, May 5th for the Hudson Valley Antique Auto Show and Swap Meet, Tuesday, August 18th through Tuesday, September 1st for the Dutchess County Fair, and the signs will be posted informing the public prior to restricting vehicular access. And just for Huck's benefit, on the end of Mulberry, it is permit parking and paid parking on Mulberry after plat, which has been going on every year, and we do allow that on their property. So I'd like to make a motion to approve the road.
That's a separate event application, though, that this is not that.
This is not that.
Right.
I'm just saying that he does that.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the road closures as submitted by Dutchess County Fairgrounds.
Second?
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All approved. Conference attendance. We have Ken McLaughlin, who is our building inspector. He is would like to attend the building inspector accreditation class, which is 24 hours. The cost of the seminar is $385. It's on April 21st, 22nd, and 23rd in New Paltz. I would like a motion to approve for Ken to attend the education conference for accreditation on April 21st, 22nd, and 23rd.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Next is, we have one of our operators, Matt Green, who needs to get caught up on his accreditation for our water treatment plant. It is a requirement for all of our water operators to get accreditation to maintain their certification. We strongly support that they do this. We're in favor of them doing this, but we have they submit a conference attendance for approval. Matt would like to attend the chlorine and sodium hydrochlorate water and wastewater treatment number 2625 at 442 Saltkill Road in Kingston. The cost is $60. I'd like to make a motion to approve Matt Green to attend that conference.
Second.
Discussion?
Yeah, I just wondered, does he know, because he didn't put down no for the vehicle and he didn't.
He's going to drive. He'll
Yeah.
put down for a vehicle.
I know, I just thought, he knows he can't get, he needs to ask in advance if he wants to get.
He's not going to use the vehicle.
No, I mean to get reimbursed for mileage. He didn't ask for mileage.
Yeah, he's not asking.
It's not far, but the other one's in, I'm just
Cut me a
asking.
break.
I'm just
Cut me a
asking.
break, Eleanor.
No, I
But
just.
no, if he wants to submit for
All right,
mileage.
I'm going to amend it that he get approved for mileage
Okay.
as well.
Great.
I can make a motion that Matt Green get approved for $60 plus mileage to attend the conference.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, I'm going to make a I'm going to vote Matt Green wants to attend another conference, which is Basic Laboratory Skills number 2614. It's at Poughkeepsie at the Waterwork Plant in Poughkeepsie. The seminar cost is $100. I'd like to make a motion for Matt to attend this conference in addition to mileage to and from Poughkeepsie.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
So approved. Okay. Next. What do we have next on the agenda? Minutes, right? I don't know if the minutes have been updated with the request that have been given, so I don't have confirmation on that. And without Martina here,
She's usually pretty good about it.
if you want to approve, but I can't
Yeah,
validate this.
we'll
because-
slate a cycle.
Huh?
That should wait till the next meeting, because we don't have to.
Yeah, I don't see any issue of waiting to approve the minutes for 3/24 and 4/1, okay? All right, committee reports. Rick?
Okay. April is the month, the spring month, that the tree commissioners go out and do their annual planting. And we'll be multitasking on that day. We'll be planting first thing on Saturday, April 25th, and then other commissioners will be attending the Earth Day event at Thompson-Mazzarella Park to give out information, maybe some seedlings of people that would like to get some trees. It's a wonderful time to come and get information from the tree commissioners about either getting a tree from the village, or if you have questions about your own trees that you have, you should definitely come and visit our table at the Earth Day celebration. And then obviously in the morning of the 25th, you will see volunteers out and about installing the trees. We have our teams ready to go for this year, and give them a friendly wave when you see them go by. Oh, there are no action items for this.
All right, we have the Climate Smart Task Force, but just for everybody's reference, I've been working with Jennifer, and Jennifer is going to be starting to pick up the communications from our Climate Smart Task Force going forward with us. So thank you, Jennifer.
Sure, thank you.
I don't assume you have a report for this one.
I do not. Although now I'm thinking that Vanessa actually did send something, but I didn't realize that I needed to bring it here.
That's
so-
okay.
That's okay. So, Next
We won't-
time,
We won't send you to jail.
that's good.
Eleanor, Parks Committee.
The Lions Mini Park was inspected, the playground was inspected. The biggest issue was mulch that gets scuffed away, leaving bare ground, particularly under the swings and at the end of, at the bottom of slides. We were advised to buy wear mats, but we were actually ahead of the game, I can proudly say. They'd already been ordered. They'll be put into place when the new mulch comes in. There was only one other issue, it was minor, and that is that some tree branches at the southern end of the swings that should be trimmed. A working subgroup of the Parks Committee reviewed the Lions Club proposal for the kiddie area and made several recommendations. For example, one item's designed for 5 to 12-year-olds, not appropriate. 3 items were considered repetitious, no children's slides were included. It lacks variety and levels of challenge. It's not clear that all the items fit in the 50 by 50. I shared a lot of the feedback earlier with the trustees, but I just wanted to make sure other people get a chance to see it. The Parks Committee critiqued the design provided by Liberty Parks. It was well received with a request for 2 changes from the Parks Committee. They made recommendations on the equipment purchase to the mini park discussion group, which met yesterday. A sample frost grant application was filled in so that we can quickly submit it when the final numbers have been determined. It has not been submitted. The footpath through the mini park, there was a proposal that it might potentially be rerouted. I think at this point, I think we've sort of agreed not to do that.
Correct, I mean, minor.
Just minor, straightening it out a bit, but yes. And so the Parks Committee had actually recommended it not be rerouted. On May 7th, 16th, and 17th, the Lions will hold their annual spring cleanup. They're going to replenish the mulch and also lay the mats in place under the swings and slides. They're planting flowers around the Lions sign, and they're going to bring a plan for refurbishing the gazebo to the board, but that might change based on yesterday's meeting, so stay tuned on that. The Parks Committee will table a Phantom Gardener event. Unfortunately, it's the same day as the Earth Day event at Thompson-Mazzarella Park. It will feature information on the Parks Committee, an opportunity to give feedback on our parks, and the chance to make your own reusable glass tumbler and fill it with an herbal mocktail, such as a lavender lemon balm lemonade. I knew Lydia that you would like that.
That's awesome.
The Parks Committee now has a page on the website. Ashley Gamal met with several interested parties, including 2 members of the Parks Committee, to discuss further plans for the pollinator garden. Preliminary work will begin soon, with planting to take place June 18th. The Rhinebeck Garden Club is providing volunteers to tend the garden. 2 volunteers have showed up to continue the pruning of the bushes and yews in the Doughboy space, so that was a pleasant surprise. Thompson Mazzarella Park, a group of bocce players with the help of a matching grant from Rhinebeck at Home has raised enough money to donate 2 benches to be placed at the bocce courts. This year the focus is on pedestrian safety. Lighting is planned for areas where people tend to walk. Each post will feature a high arm to spotlight the parking area and a lower one to light up pedestrian paths. The plan is for a path to connect the sidewalk that ends, if you come down the hill on Trevor, to connect the sidewalk that ends by the dumpsters to the path that runs toward the trailhead structure and leads to other parts of the park, trying to make the whole thing really walkable and safe. 2 20-foot sets of bleachers for the soccer fields will be arriving soon. A good deal of discussion followed how to deal with that. Unfortunately, they were just a bit too wide to also support a footpath through the area, so everybody was bemoaning the fact that the soccer field was misplaced by a few feet. The rec department and the library are working together to buy 3 volleyball nets, 3 volleyballs, and 3 badminton sets that STAR members can borrow. 2 nets will be set up just north of the community gardens, and then it'll leave the northernmost end of the field open to serve as Chad put it, in quotes, everyone's backyard. A concern was raised about cars reaching the top of the hill at the exit out of the Thompson Mazzarella Park at speeds well above the posted limit and the danger they pose to bicyclists. Support was expressed for requesting that a traffic light be placed there and crosswalk striped, acknowledging it might be a heavy lift. You have a town park state road in the village of Rhinebeck. However, it can be argued that the increased traffic resulting from additional amenities offered at the Thompson Mazzarella Park, coupled with extra use in traffic from the Locust Hill project, warrants a second look at controlling traffic speeds. Lots going on in parks.
Just so the board knows, a little over a month ago, I convened a work group. And the work group is tasked to figure out a way to get a kiddie section in the park this year. We're working diligently. This work group consists of representatives from the Parks Committee, representatives from the Autism Supporter Committee, a representative from our engineering firm, and our DPW, and representative of the Lions Club. So we're all working together, trying to collaborate and come up with a plan. And when we get a plan that's finalized, we will bring it forward and work with the public to make sure that we have something that is usable for our park with the goal of getting it done. And I will say so far, collaboratively, it's been working pretty well, as Eleanor expressed. We have 2 designs. We're working on figuring out how to work with those 2 designs and pull it all together. We have a surface discussion going on. We have a relocation of equipment due to a suggestion by Rick that I'm amazed what he's doing lately. I mean, he actually looked at it, and Eleanor, I don't think you mentioned that the contractor's doing the leveling and seeding over there.
Oh, yeah, I forgot that.
And that contractor did a great job of removing what was there and leveling out and seeding it. So it actually gives you a better visual of how we can reshape the park to make it usable. So these are all things that this committee, this work, I don't call it a committee, it's a work group. This work group is doing with a goal to get something done this year. Okay? So God bless us and hope we get there.
I just want to make a comment, Gary. I don't know if we want to have Ty and Bond do the design yet, because I've talked to a contractor, actually the person who did the moved the kiddie area, and even he said that he might not have the equipment that you would need to do that, so it might run into some money.
The design is just where things will be located. It's
No,
not
no,
physically moving
I get it, but if we're not going to, I'm just wondering, should we price the movement before we get the design? You know what I mean?
You can.
Well, I'm just thinking if we're going to redesign it, then it costs too much to move it, that's all.
Can I just ask why you wouldn't just give a design build RFP to the playground equipment people?
No, what's happening
No,
is,
it's more
Jennifer,
than
let
that.
me give you a quick backup.
Yeah.
So once I was walking through the park, looking at the sidewalk
Yeah.
area and where the seating is, and I'm looking at the big square of the reseated, and I'm looking at the pavilion, the bandstand. I'm like, why don't we flip them?
Right.
Okay.
So we're talking about multiple
So-
things here,
so-
not just the kiddie section.
Right, so not, so this is,
Yeah.
so we're not talking about, so
Precisely what I mean.
what Eleanor was referring to is the idea is, let's pick up and move the bandstand to the
Gazebo.
east, the gazebo, to the east end of the park,
Arnett Street extension.
to the, move that down there and then slide the kiddie park closer to the other park. And so Eleanor's question was, is it gonna be exorbitant to move it? And I would just say, I don't know if the numbers be, but this is a chance to really reform the park to make it
I have
really
no,
work.
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
we're being told to cut back on the equipment, and the equipment is kind of the key to the whole thing. So I don't want to short us on equipment and say, well, we can pay whatever we need to move the gazebo.
Well, I also don't understand why a consultant would get involved in this when what you need is a equipment provider, right, an installer.
We're working with 2 equipment providers
Right.
that can do that.
No, the consultant,
Just need to
no,
do
the
it.
consultant is doing the, where to put, I mean, you know, where do you put the gazebo? That's what the
That's
consultant.
time.
That's
So
time bond.
Time Bond is
Yeah.
working on a plan to relocate the gazebo and then coordinate with GPI, who's putting the path, to run the path appropriately through the park,
I'm just-
largely in the same location. We can have a
So
discussion offline.
what
but
you're
sure.
hearing is, we're not finalized yet on what we want to do.
Right, no,
So
that's
the purpose of this work
the
group
issue.
is to finalize that and then figure out, does it make sense and can we afford to do it?
Right,
So there is a stage process here
right.
to figure out how we're doing it. We have an engineer that already has the park laid out, that can already do this for us.
Okay.
So I just-
And then visually, we can say, as the work group, do we support this effort? Right. And if we support the effort, then it becomes now, we have to go out and get bids to move this thing and relocate it, because it's not just moving the gazebo, there's electric involved with it as well. Not a huge, tremendous task, but a task that needs to be done, right? And that is all creating a vision for how we can redesign the park right now. But this work group, I'm tasking them to bless it before we go forward. And nothing's been blessed yet,
Right,
it's okay?
this is clear.
All right.
Okay.
Lydia, comprehensive plan.
So a couple things going on. Oh my God. I think the most interesting thing, honestly, that's come out in the last couple months, in addition to sort of all of the work, but Donna continues to look at census data. The village continues to lose population. And even though we are dealing with multiple multi-million-dollar construction projects in the village, the median income is $72,000 and 25% of the Rhinebeck School District is economically disadvantaged. I feel like that's important to say out loud. Our median income is $72,000 and 25% of the Rhinebeck School District is economically disadvantaged. Just to remind everybody where we are.
Is that the median income? The school is bigger
The
than the
median
village.
income for the village of Rhinebeck
But the
is
school,
$72,000.
Just to make sure there's a difference, there's a
Yes,
water area for the
but
school.
a lot of those kids live in the village of Rhinebeck and they are not seen.
I'm just saying it's not totally the village.
So the other things that we've been working on, the zoning continues. I had a conversation about asphalt sidewalks today. Historic preservation is is working on pattern books to accompany the zoning code. Housing is meeting with folks who own large pieces of land in the village and whether they'd be willing to turn them into housing. So that's been a beginning of a conversation. We've had a conversation with Dutchess County Transportation, Emily Dozier et al., about everything that the comp plan is asking us to do on state roads, and what that would take. And so I know that Lisa was going to poke you, Rick, about setting up a meeting with DOT, but I think we were waiting until this particular project was done so that we wouldn't annoy them too much. What else is going on? The 30 to 25 mile an hour reduction is something that they remain on top of. There was something else, but I don't remember what it was. Oh, communications. They're going to start, I didn't know that the tree commission was doing that, so that's very cool. So the committee wants to start putting out communications, so we are working on that. We are in the process of building a new webpage for the implementation committee and archiving the comp plan committee webpage. And yeah, there's sort of conversations around how to continue to capture the community engagement that was around the comp plan itself into implementation. So there's that conversation. Yeah. What is interesting, and we need to actually put it on paper, is how many recommendations that are in the comp plan that have actually already been achieved. So we're going to develop a checklist, and we're going to put that on the website so that folks can see the checklists, which is always satisfying. I think that's it.
Thank you. Hey. Time to represent our employees. At this time, I'd like to acknowledge Officer Jaden Campos as officer of our Village of Rhinebeck Police Department and having served 2 years. Thank you, Jaden, and hope you're willing to stay with us for a much longer period of time. Okay. At this time, I'd like to make a motion to go into an executive session to discuss our contract with our police PDO.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 This time, I'd like to make a motion to close out the executive session.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
At this time, I'd like to make a motion to end our April 14th Village Board meeting. Come again to see the next episode on PANDOT.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.